Thank you for everyone who's joining us right now. My name is Adam. I am the Customer Success Manager here at Vyzer. We want to be able to give kind of a walkthrough, a monthly walkthrough of the platform to give a deep dive into the different features, the new things going on in Vyzer, and any kind of new news going with us. We knew joining a new platform can be a little overwhelming at times, and we just want to give that a little extra value. So joining me is Danielle.
Hi, everyone.
And we can go ahead and get started. So, like I said, my name is Adam. I'm the customer success manager here at Vyzer. What Vyzer is trying to do is give a more automated solution for investors to be able to automatically track more not easily tracked investments like private equity, real estate funds, different syndications, things that there's not an easy way to do without it basically becoming your full-time job at any given point. So this is what a populated account will look like, a populated dashboard. You can see your total net worth based on your assets and liabilities. You can see all the different asset classes that we support here in Vyzer, and of course, 2 liability classes. And each asset class has its own subcategories so that when you start really looking at your investments holistically, you can compare them, their performance, see how they're doing against each other, and get a better view of your portfolio overall. And where that information comes is what we want to make it as easy for you as a member as possible without a lot of legwork on your part. Is one of the first things we have implemented here at Vyzer is what we call our Vyzer Magic Box, which Danielle will go into a little more explanation for.
So the Vyzer Magic Box is really one of features that our members love the most. It's a way for you to upload all your financial documents into Vyzer, whether it's a spreadsheet that you're currently using, your PPM, your investor report, your K1, any kind of data that will help our platform to build your assets and update them on an ongoing basis. So Adam, if you can click on the Vyzer Magic Box. So it's a simple drag and drop. We also have the option to forward it to a secure email if for some reason you don't want to log into the platform. A lot of our members also set it up that we just get CC'd on any updates that they get from their operator, from their funds. And what we are really trying to do here is, and the reason we say spreadsheet K1 PFS or PPM is we're looking for certain data points that will help us create those assets for you. So things that are important to note when you're uploading the document is that has the operator name or the fund name, the investment name, initial investment date, initial amount. If there's any expected cash on cash performance, expected IRR, sorry, expected multiplier. When is the investment expected to end? Sometimes you won't have that. We have default settings for that, but that can also be easily changed. The distribution schedule that you were promised, or if you're supposed to get your distribution on an annually, quarterly, monthly basis. This is really important for us to help project and help you plan your cash flow better. Adam will dive deep into the cash flow planning later and show you how does that distribution schedule translate into the cash flow planning. Actual distributions that you've received, obviously this is important to evaluate the performance. So if you have any data about that, that would be very helpful. And the capital call details. So if all the capital was invested into the deal, or if it was done in different time schedules, because that affects the performance as well. And while it does sound a little bit overwhelming, all of that information is probably in your investor portal. So it's very easy to just export it and upload it into Vyzer. And if you need any assistance with that, we're always available to help. We'll be more than happy to hop on a call or explain more in more detail what we need and what we're looking to get out of those files. And I think, Adam, you're going to go next into the VIP sync.
Yes, and we want to really make passive investing passive again. So another way we want to be able to do that is what we call our VIP sync, which of course is available to our premium and elite level members. For VIP sync, you are giving us permission to go into these different funds, these different operators. We get
Read only, important to say.
Yes, get read-only access to be able to pull in your historical contracts, your historical statements, any kind of notifications, and be able to build these assets for you. Well, this is a pretty short list. We are currently working with about a little bit over 80 different operators. And so if you're searching and you don't see one, let us know. We can start kind of looking into being able to integrate a new operator with our platform. With that information, we can, of course, build and update. We'll continuously update those assets for you. So you're not having to upload new statements, new contracts, anything like that. We'll go into those platforms for you on I think it's twice a month to be able to pull in new notifications and new information to keep that passive income passive.
Yeah, but if for some reason you're getting more frequent updates, you can let us know and we'll make sure to update it on a more frequent basis.
Of course. So another way we get a lot of this information into Vyzer is, of course, kind of an industry-wide standard is we sync directly to your different banks and brokerage accounts. We currently work with 2 integrating services, but we are adding a third one here in the next week or so to be able to pull in a little over 20,000 financial institutions. We're bringing in it's Akoya. Recently, Fidelity, which we know a lot of our members and a lot of investors have Fidelity accounts. Fidelity created their own integrating service that encompasses a whole new level of financial institutions. So we're going to bring them in to continue that seamless integration into all these different financial institutions. So it's a long list. Please search. And if you ever have any issues searching for a financial institution, let us know. We're happy to help you that way. Of course, another way, if someone wants to a little more deep dive into the system, is of course you can manually add assets on your own. And I'll walk you through adding an asset to get an idea of what it would look like and the information required. So I'll just pick real estate, syndication, because that's really common. Of course, rental, the information needed, sponsor, operator, property name, of course, your initial investment. And here you can say this asset is 100% owned by me. If it's not, if you're part of a partnership or a tribe, you can change that and dictate what part is yours. And of course, we want to know the purchase date, when you started this investment, because that's going to be important when it comes to performance metrics. So the default is a 5-year life for these investments. Of course, you can change that. That can be edited. That's just the system's default for you. And then you can put in the expected metrics, what you see this is going to perform. So for this case, I'll just put in 2 times multiplier, expected IRR, 15%. And really important is, do you expect distributions? For this case, I'm going to say yes. And we want to know what those distribution schedule is supposed to look like. Is it a percentage based on your initial investment? Is it a flat rate? You can decide and make those changes for yourself. So I can just I'll put in 10%. Put in 8%. We'll get crazy. And then you can, yeah, it's a really good investment. I want to get more to those. You can pick the expected distribution period. Of course, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, yearly, or a custom distribution schedule. You can build those out. And you can see what, according to your distribution schedule, what is that going to look like over time? We know that a lot of this information can change. You can say that in the 5th year, you're going to have a preferred rate or anything like that. So these can all be edited according to what information that you have. I can continue through. Of course, do you have any additional commitments? Do you have any expected capital calls? Yes or no. We can put those into the asset and help notify you. If you know that you have a capital call coming up in 6 months, you can program that into the specific asset and we'll notify you when it gets a little bit closer to time saying, hey, you have a capital call coming up. Are you ready for it? So when you continue through, of course, you can put the property address if it's relevant, the holding entity for, of course, the specific entity, the specific asset, or the investment type. You have a long list to choose from. And then, of course, any notes that you have. If you want to put in your GP's phone number, email address, any important relevant information, you can put it right there in the notes. And click done. usually a little bit quicker, but I think it's just because I'm trailing on the internet. So this is what your asset would look like. Of course, what you've put into it, the whole life of the actual asset. And if anything has happened before the time period right now, when you've created the asset, it's going to be listed as an actual. So when we get those specific statements, or if there's any updated information, of course, you can select any of these and update it to the correct information that you have. And then you can select from there. You can say this specific distribution is on capital. It's of capital, because that's very important when you start receiving these distributions. Also, to help track these different distributions for you, we have what we call our linked transactions. So you can link these historical transactions to actual events that have hit your financial institution. When this happens, of course, you're going to get the actual data. If you were promised 750, but it was a $900 return, we know that that was an actual event, because that's going to come into relevancy when we start looking at your performance. That way you don't have to calculate it yourself or provide statements. It's hitting your account, we're aware of it, and we'll let you know. At the same time, if you've received a distribution on January, February, March, but you don't see one in April, the system will actually let you know. It'll have a little red dot next to a specific event saying this is overdue. That gives you an opportunity to either, if you know about it or not, if you don't, you can reach out to the operator and kind of figure out what's going on. And from
Adam,
here,
I think it's also
right?
important to mention that if you do link a transaction, you see, let's do an example of one just to show them what a linked transaction looks like. So just link that. I could do save event, and you'll see a little circle next to it. So that way, you know, the money actually hit your account.
And of course, if any of this information changes, if the holding entity changed, if you have more information about expected performance metrics, you can go in and edit that information easily. And of course, if this was built by the Magic Box over here in documents, you'll see those relevant documents there. You can see where that information came from. Or if you just needing kind of a holding receptacle of, okay, I have all this information for my assets, I need it in one place, you can find it here at the asset level. So when you have all these different investments in specific asset classes, you can really start comparing them and seeing how they're performing, of course, against each other, or just on a high level version of how they're performing. So while you're looking at this specific asset class, you can, of course, see how it's performing overall. But if you want to really dive deep into how individual investments are performing, you can hit this little box that says new. When you select it, you can, of course, pick the performance metrics that are important to you. So you can say cash on cash, ROI, IRR, hit apply, and you can see how those investments are performing, of course, against each other. I want to see who is performing the best for IRR. You can select that. Who's performing not so well. That just gives you another level of insight on these assets and to make more informed decisions in the future.
Two other things important to note on this page is one, what you're seeing inside the circle is the liabilities you've taken to fund these deals. So you get an accurate view of, you know, your leverage cash, and it connects to the investment. And another thing is the ability to export it. So at the top of the screen where you see the three dots, you can export view. So if for some reason you need to share it with your accountant or someone, you can easily do that. I think also important to mention is, Adam, you mentioned there is an option to do ownership percentage. So for instance, for the Cooper Chase LifeBridge Capital, you see here that it's 75% of the investment. So you get to see what is your share, but what is the whole tribe or the whole group's share. So it really gives you the most accurate view to the performance of both your share and the entire investment.
Thank you. So a little just kind of important features when it comes to filters. Something that we just recently released, of course, is what it's a K1 tracker. So you can pick either from this view, of course, hit items, and you can filter. You can see, oh, going the wrong way, through this data layer saying, I want to see what assets have the K1s that have received. Are they in Vyzer? You can pick specific years and hit apply. Of course, some of these investments, K1s, are not relevant. and you can choose different asset classes and kind of do the same thing. But this information allows you to see really kind of overview of who has a K1, who am I still waiting on, in case you need that for your CPA or any kind of tax consultant. Turn that off. So I want to dive into another asset class real fast. It's our public markets. And so if there's in case that we can't, for whatever reason, sync to a specific brokerage account, anything like that, we can build these tickers for you and track them in a specific kind of almost a bucket portfolio to see how these different public markets are doing. And you'll get a live view of how they're performing. So you can see, of course, the current value, your price per share, how many shares you have, and any kind of performance you have for those. So we have a lot of public market options. You can build these to your preference to get a lot more insight into those specific assets for you. And of course, long-term savings. Something that we know is very important to our members is whole life insurance and how they use that to leverage different assets and leverage their portfolio to, of course, continue their wealth growth. Danielle, could you take care of that for me?
Sure. So a lot of the time with whole life insurance, you have the cash value that you can take a loan against. So we're showing you, okay, not only just what your payments are, what is your base, what is the valued up addition, but also your benefits, what is the available loan amount. For instance, for this example, you've already taken out a $30,000 loan from your available loan amount. And we also have the capability to link the asset that you use, the fund that you leverage the loan to buy. So if you click on the loan, let's start with the loan. Great. So you see, okay, this is the line of credit that I took in order to leverage. And then you can also, you have all the interest, the principal, you have all the payments here. And if we go back, you can also see, okay, what did I use that money for? So if we'll click on that, that will show you the assets. So you see that you invested $100,000, you get to see the performance, and again, inside the circle, you get to see the loan that you've taken. So giving you the most accurate way of, how your money is working for you.
Thank you. So one of the features that we really want to provide our members is, of course, what we call our cash flow planning. Cash flow planning comes from those assets that we've built and those distribution schedules that we've built for them. So all this information is assumptions based on your assets, what you are expected in the future to receive. So with the cash flow planning tool, you can see your current cash position and ongoing cash position based on your assets and liabilities. This gives you kind of just better insight on, you can see the large jumps or drops in your cash position, and you can get an idea of what's kind of going on there. So you can see if there's a large jump, of course, you can select it and see, oh, well, there's a deal that's coming to term. I'm getting all my capital back. That's why I see a large jump. Or if there's a huge drop, of course, you can select it and go down. Oh, there's a capital call. Or for my insurance policy, there's a premium that I have to pay. Just gives you better insight of what your cash position is going to be in the future. Of course, so you can make decisions based on that information. You can, of course, we have what we call our scenarios. You can create these scenarios to see how your cash position is going to be affected in the future. It could be an income, it could be a new deal, a new investment, an expense. You could be buying a car or sending your kids to college. And you can see how that is going to affect your cash position. Of course, it could be the frequency of one-time deal, reoccurring deal. This scenario feature just gives you a lot of options to play and just see what kind of things that you can get involved in, of course, in the future.
Let's toggle on one just for the example's sake. So
So
very easy. These are already programmed in, very easy to toggle on and off. And obviously you get to see, okay, I cannot buy a new house for $350,000. Two other things that are important on this page, there are two plug-in numbers. So essentially, if you still have a W-2 income, you can plug in that number and it will take into consideration when doing the projection, and also your household monthly expenses. So as you're populating your account, you'll have the option to add those two in.
Perfect. And so our next feature we have in Vyzer is, of course, our report section. The first one being our personal financial statements. Danielle?
Yes, I love this feature. So this is a pretty new feature that we've recently added is the ability to request a personal financial statement. It's really great if if you're trying to secure a loan or if you want someone to review your financial health. So if you click down on the arrow, you can select request statement. You'll get a little pop-up saying that Vyzer is processing your statement, and you will get it within 48 hours to your email with a password protected file. The password is showing right here, and you can just copy. I believe you're getting it in a spreadsheet format, but if you need it in a PDF, just let us know and we'll be happy to provide that as well.
And
Next up is the balance sheet.
perfect. For balance sheet, it is a true balance sheet. If you need to bring it to your financial institution for loan reporting purposes, or they're just needing more details about your financials, you can give them a balance sheet, of course, listing your value of all your assets and liabilities. And you can pick holding entities that are relevant to you in those circumstances. So you can click them on, click them off, pick specific ones, just whatever information, of course, is relevant for you. And then, of course, group assets by class. When you create and download, this specific report comes as a PDF. So just easy PDF, print it off, put it in your documentation, or you can email it, of course, to your banker. Our next report is what we call our general report. It downloads as an Excel spreadsheet, and it really is an informational dump. It is essentially everything that you have in Vyzer, your name assets, your ownership percentages, any kind of contributions, distributions, performance metrics. It's just an Excel spreadsheet with everything that you have in it in case you need to build another report to more of your liking. Really easy to use, really good for our members. And then our last kind of reporting is what we call our custom reports, and I'll let Danielle take that one.
So our custom reports are available for our members in our more advanced plan, so in our elite plan. These are really tailor-made according to what our client need or request. So it can be an allocation report, it can be a cash flow analysis, transaction, it can be by sector, by industry, by location. Really tailored to whatever our clients need.
There, I want to jump over just to our community function, of course. And I know, Danielle, you said you really like this feature, so I'll let you take care of this one.
No, so I mean, every private investor or private placement investor probably knows that, transparency and understanding exactly what's going on in the private market is always a challenge. So this feature really came about in order to try and solve this problem. And what you're seeing now essentially is what the total net worth that is tracked on Vyzer, the breakdown of the institution that our members have. So how many holdings do they have in each institution? And then the really interesting thing is when you click on classes, you get to see what is the breakdown in each asset class, but not only in the asset class. When you click on it, you will see what funds, what operators people in Vyzer are invested in, and how many holdings do they have. So really giving you visibility to more possible investment avenues, seeing what other people are doing. When we plan to add much more robust features to that. So really showing you what is the performance of their investments and things like that to give you the best information for you to make more informed decision and hopefully help you grow your portfolio.
Perfect. And one thing I kind of want to circle back on when it comes to our synced institutions. For synced institution, of course, you can go into your essentially your settings, and all of the synced institutions that you have there will be listed on that page. If there's anything in these synced institutions that are not relevant to your portfolio, if you have when you start syncing your bank accounts, you have one of your children's savings account, but it's not relevant to your portfolio, of course, you can toggle those off or on at your leisure. That's something you can do as a member, jump in, do on your own. It just kind of helps you get a more accurate view of your net worth.
This page is also good in cases sometimes, unfortunately, connectivity can still be an issue even in, I was about to say 2023, but we're already in 2024. So you can click sync all now, and that will show you the last sync date for the account. So as you see, last sync just now, so you know that everything is updated and showing you the correct information.
If I jump back to my portfolio, information that we know is very important to be, of course, transparent for our members. We call our inflow and outflow right here. So from this, you can have a good idea on different levels for, of course, different asset classes, years of the inflow and outflow of cash for your different investments, accounts, anything like that. So you can pick different, of course, time frames, whichever is relevant for you to really pare down information. When you hover, of course, it'll show you what your target inflow or outflow is versus your actual. So you can see it for all the different asset classes and, of course, the liability classes. And you can see it, of course, if you hit a specific class, you have a greater breakdown so that you don't have to jump into a specific asset. It gives you a real high level overview of everything that's going on cash wise for those different assets. So for that, I know it's a can be kind of overwhelming. We of course want to be here for you every step of the way. And some kind of upcoming developments that we have. We're always working on new features, new things that our members want, but our upcoming features that we're working on right now, I'll let Danielle kind of go into more detail about those.
Okay, so it is important to know that we work very closely with our clients. We love getting feedback, good or bad, because we believe it helps us improve the platform for our clients. So now in the works, we are planning a new exit flow. So basically deals that are coming to terms, letting you categorize it a little bit better. What's going on? Did you get all your principal, all your invested capital? Were you still expecting any transaction? Do you want to close out the asset? Do you still want to see the performance? Do you still have any events that needs to be logged? So that is something that is coming up. After that, we have the much anticipated role management, which it will give you the ability to invite guests or admins to your account. So if you want to give your spouse, your partner, your CPA access to your account, you can do that. We're also working on improving mobile responsive. So basically you will be able to log in from your mobile browser, Safari, Chrome, and work on your Vyzer account and take any action that you need to do. Obviously, as Adam mentioned, we're adding much more financial institution fidelity amongst them. We know that, this is an industry cost problem that we're really working hard on trying to solve and providing the best connectivity and a wide range of institutions for our clients.
Perfect. And of course, we always want to be here for our members. If you have questions, concerns, if you just need a little bit of support, of course, while you're in the platform, you can hit this little insignia at the bottom. And you have a couple different options here. You can just reach out for a quick question. We're happy to help. Sometimes it's a quick question we have a AI bot that can answer your question pretty quickly. And if it's more complicated, of course, one of the team members can answer a little more detail. From there, if we need to jump on a Zoom call, happy to do so. But at the same time, we have an area just called help, where if you ever want to kind of understand better of our performance metrics, how they're calculated, you can go here to help. You can search for specific questions that you might have, or go to just our frequently asked questions article.
There's a lot of guides there with images to show you exactly, how to take certain actions on the platform if you ever get a little bit lost.
Of course. We also have a YouTube page. You can go there. We have videos and tutorials on how to do certain functionalities within the platform. And of course, we always ask our members to link with us on social media, follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, which was previously Twitter, to keep you in the loop. We'll be able to tell you about new features that we have or any kind of articles that we're producing, just to give you more value and keep you connected to Vyzer.
Yes, we also do a lot of webinars with great partners. So we post those on our socials. So make sure that you subscribe to those as well.
Perfect. I don't think that I've missed anything. I think at this point that I think we can open up to questions if anything needs a little bit more explanation. I think they can they do that in the chat, or?
I think both both should be enabled. So we do have a question about a certain institution, but I will make sure that we will, not to waste everyone's time, I will search for it and let you know in person later on. I will email you the response.
Perfect.
How close you are to being able to connect data from insurance companies? That's a great answer. Again, we are continuously trying to improve connectivity and add more financial institutions. I believe we have some coming up with the addition of Akoya, but if you want to provide a list of any specific ones, then please let us know when we can check and get back to you. Great. Any more?
And of course, if you want, we can help send you a calendar item where we can have a one-on-one conversation with you at your leisure to answer any more questions and do another deep dive into the platform. Happy to do so.
Perfect. Wait, Adam, we have more. How about adding an asset that isn't listed? What type of an asset? Agriculture. Is it through a fund or through a certain company? Okay. Oh, hold on. Purchase equipment that does growing. Well, I think probably private companies, traditional businesses might work for that. But we also have others. In the others, I think you have collectibles, you have precious metals. But if, again, we're always happy to get more feedback and to add more capabilities to Vyzer. So that is something that I can definitely make a note on and speak with our product team if it's possible to add. But we do have, and again, like Adam mentioned, we do have a lot of categories inside of each of one of those asset classes. So we usually try to find creative solutions, even if we can't, it's not an exact match, but it would give you the visibility that you would need to track that investment. We try to understand the behavior in the investment and try to match it to the closest one that we have in the asset class. And we make sure that it's listed very well so you'll be able to identify it. Is it possible to change the interest rate for loans as some are moving with prime on a monthly basis versus being set for the duration? So that really varies for the, yeah. I'll let you take the loan, Adam, and go into the difference obviously between the loans as a liability and the private loans that you can enter as an asset.
Of course. So in a lot of cases, we can sync to those institutions directly and be able to pull those loans in. In cases that we can't, of course, we can build the loan out for you, and that the create event, if there is ever a fluctuation in the rate, we can hit create event. I'll move my little box out of the way. Interest rate, change the interest rate and the date that it's relevant to. And that's for our loans for you. But we also have a class, or an asset class on private loans. See that? All right, I'm glad I answered your question. For private loans, one of the new features that we've rolled out recently is non-amortized loans. We know that you as investors can do a lot of private loans on your own, and those aren't always matching kind of what a lot of financial institutions do. So we can build these different loans for you to have more flexibility and payment. If you don't have a normal payment schedule or normal terms where it's not a 5-year deal, it's kind of an open-ended deal. You as a lender, we've built that asset class out recently. So just a new feature, a little added value for our members.
For a seller finance loan or business loan, what is the asset class? So for a business loan that you take, it is a private loan. So that would probably go into the private loans, and you can categorize what is the holding entity or which one of the companies is should be attributed to that loan. I hope that helped.
Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
So again, the private loans are loans that you would be either giving out privately or through a P2P platform, really more of an investment type or an asset type loans. And the loans that you see at the bottom are the liabilities that you've taken to leverage other investments or other endeavors.
What else? What else can we help you with?
Okay. Can you go back and reclass an asset that was incorrectly labeled at first? That's a great question. So the reason that our clients can do it themselves is because each asset class has different metrics, and changing, if you want to change it between the asset class, that would require you to re-enter the entire asset. So the way we do it is you can just reach out to us, whether it's on the chat support or on our email, and just let us know, okay, this was categorized as a managed funds, but it's really a real estate, or it needs to be in private loans, and we'll just move it around for you, and we'll let you know once it's done. Great, I hope. Okay. Any plans to add trend curves for individual investment class portfolio for things like KPIs, IRR, MOIC, statement values, etc.? I know the product team have been working on something, but if it will be added, it will probably more towards the beginning of next quarter. But I can check with the product team and get back to you with a more accurate answer. Adam, do you see any other questions?
Not at this time. Can wait just another few minutes, few seconds. Anyone wants to reach out, happy to help.
I'm still stuck on the agriculture. I want to find the best place for it in Vyzer now.
Yeah. Oh. All right, looks like there's no more questions. Of course, if you have a question after this, please feel free to reach out. You can email me directly. It's just adam@vyzer.co. If you need a kind of a broader question, you can of course reach out to just hello@vyzer.co. We'll get right back to you. So if anything comes up, please reach out. This is recorded so that we will send it out once it's finished. We'll send it out to all the members who've signed up for the webinar. They can go back and refer to it, and anyone else who might request more information. So if there's no more questions, I appreciate everyone being here.
Oh, wait. Thank you. Thank you for attending.
Thank you. So
Have a great day, everyone.
And a great week. We appreciate it. Bye-bye.